And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. Joined again with Sean Gervais from OrbisX CRM and Marshall Hill from the Pints and Polishing Podcast. Obviously, the Off the Clock Show that you're now listening to, and Hyper Clean Car Care Productos. There we go. I changed up the intro a little bit
You
there.
did.
Man.
Oh, nicely done. I butcher my intros all the time.
You're like, yeah, well, go back to the age. Man, good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been
It's
a
been
week and a bit.
took a week. Yeah, it took a
Yeah, you
week.
look taller. You look tall. Yeah.
I think my neck is
I have my
stretched.
neck
That's what it
stretched
is.
out. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Giraffe pose.
Well, no, I mean like so
Oh shit, like legit stretched.
yes.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
like
shit. Oh
so
man.
trying to get ready for roller coasters, getting ready for all that, but having spinal stenosis, I mean,
Yeah.
it,
Holy
it
shit.
wasn't yeah, it was I joked with you, right? Like they questioned if
Yeah.
I was gonna get a wheelchair. Like
God.
that's
That's
as
so crazy,
serious as
man. That's as
like you
serious as it gets, yeah. And like the
yeah,
fact
like
that you
it
bounce back to this level though, that's impressive. Like that.
it I'll tell you there's a ride that did it. To
Mm.
the Your body feels when you get squeezed into these places, right? Everybody else they can move themselves in. I have to squeeze into like my body just doesn't move like so. There was one time I wish I could remember the ride, but I was like I couldn't sit down. Like
Oh
my
shit.
it wouldn't go like my and I just had to keep pushing and they do that thing where they push the
Oh yeah, the bar comes down. Yeah,
right and it pushes in, they push and it was like, oh God, and then my back just goes
oh
I was like, oh.
yeah, you don't know.
But that was one. The next was Tower of Terror.
Okay.
Now, Tower of Terror is it's a go back in the day to the Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Did you
Okay.
did you ever watch the Twilight Zone?
Yeah, many moons ago, but yeah.
Yeah, many,
Yeah.
right? Really interesting show, right?
Yeah.
Really interesting. And so they have a ride called the Tower of Terror where you get into a hotel elevator.
Hmm. Okay.
You can imagine, right? As I see we're getting out of it, I go,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, this is
this
terrible.
is gonna drop.
Those are the worst ones. Jesus. I already have a phobia with
The
elevators.
picture,
Oh,
I'll send you the picture,
yeah.
right? Because we did that where you go
Oh,
buy all the picture, right?
yeah. Of course.
You eventually, right? Because you're dropping. So my neck and my head's up here. And I'm like
Oh
this. I'm
man.
going, uh,
And you're just
oh, it's
holding that the whole
brutal.
time. Oh,
Because it's just, this is falling. My neck's like, and just because I
yeah.
don't feel everything, right? So
Yeah.
it was the most weirdest feeling to be falling. And I literally felt my head up here.
Jesus.
And I was just like, oh my word, this is the wild, like, but it helped.
Oh, damn.
Like it
Ah,
stretched my neck. I literally can feel better now. Like I feel things in my
yeah.
neck more. I got
That's
more
amazing.
muscle back. Like, oh, it's wild. I mean, stenosis is wild. Like
Yeah. That's all you
nerves
have
and
to do.
nerve
Go on the
endings and
Tower of
muscle. Like
Terror every
it's,
day.
yeah, pretty
Man,
much.
that's
Yeah.
wild.
So
I wonder, have you ever seen those chairs where they I guess they call it a chair, but it's upside down. So you're like flipped upside down. My old business partner used to have one. Uh,
yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, it's like an
Those,
anti-gravity thing,
yep.
and you
Mm-hmm.
flip upside down. He
Those
said
are
every
good.
time he's having back pain, he
Yep.
would jump out. Like he was a bigger guy. He was like 6'6", 290, something like that. He was a big dude. And he would wake up with pains, after the gym, whatever. He would I say sit, but he'd lay on that thing, I guess, and it would like flip him upside down.
Yep.
And
Flips you
then
upside down. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I did try it once. I think I needed to be there longer because the minute I was flipped upside down, I felt like everything in my body just like it's like my stomach ended up on my throat. Like it was just, and I was like, no, put me down, put me down. So he flipped it back around. That was my only experience with it. So I hated it. But honestly, when I think about it, the times that I've been like in a similar type situation where, like your organs and everything's just kind of moving on its own upwards. I did something similar, not that exact kind of ride, but it's a big circle. They have them at like every fair. It's a big circle, and then they
Oh
spin
yeah, I can't do
around and you
those.
get
Yeah.
sucked against the wall. I don't know what the hell those things are called, but
Yeah, I relive that moment every fall as we go to Oktoberfest.
there we
And
go.
Oktoberfest,
They got
even
one
when
there.
I was in my 20s, right? It's the same Oktoberfest. It's the best. We have one of the best Oktoberfest in the country.
Yeah.
Uh and it's continued on, and they have that same ride that, and when I was younger, chugged down a beer so I could get on that ride.
It's, it's spinning around. Oof.
Bad idea.
Yeah, that's how it
Bad
ends up
idea.
across the way, you know?
Nope. I made it all the way till he finally
Oh,
stopped it. I know he knew what he was doing.
yeah.
He
He
saw
knew,
me chugging the beer.
and he was like, "Say less." Yeah,
Yeah, like it went a lot longer than supposed to.
yeah.
Even the other people were like, gosh, that went a long time. I'm like, yeah,
Still
me, get out of
going.
my way.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I got off those steps, blah.
Oh man, damn,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. I
brutal.
don't do, even now, I don't do circle stuff anymore.
Yeah. I'm the same way. We used to have one. It was called the Zipper. I think it was called the Zipper, and it was almost like those a carousel type thing. But anyway, it was like the what are those circle things? I had this problem last time. Jeez, what are they called? Ferris wheel. It's like a Ferris wheel. I don't know why I struggle with that one, but it's like a Ferris wheel. But the buckets, you know how they kind of
And then
self-adjust
they
as you go?
rotate and
This
they,
one like
yeah.
flips upside down and all kinds of
Yeah.
crazy shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God. Me, I was too young at the time. It wasn't a beer, but I had just drank like a soda of some kind. Oh my God, man. When in that thing, it was brutal. Everything in my body, I had to just like hold it in. I was just like, just don't. I was on a date at the time. So, I was young and I was like, I don't want to throw up and look like that guy. You know what I mean? But yeah, the zipper, that was brutal. But yeah, the 1st of September, actually, I'm going to this place called La Ronde. It's in Montreal, and it's basically an amusement park. It's kind of like a Disneyland type thing, just on a miniature scale. But man, they have some wild rides there. But the reason I bring this up is they do something so cool, man. Like most places you go, like big, park of attractions, they'll have the regular lines, and then they have the way to like upgrade the fast pass or whatever it is, right? You can skip the lines. They've introduced something there, man. Hats off to whoever's doing their marketing, because I was like, well done. They sell the fast pass still, it's the most expensive one. Then they sell the regular tickets, but they've introduced two new passes in between. And so you're like, so hold on. So one, I wait in the regular line, who knows how long it takes, 2 hours per ride or whatever. The other one, fast pass, I jump the line, go right to the front. They introduced two more. One's called the half fast pass. And the other one, I can't remember what they called it, but it was something else. Basically, if let's say the average time you'll have to wait is an hour, if you get the fast pass, you just jump right to the front. You're waiting 5 minutes. If you get the
Half
half
pass, you only
fast
wait
pass
half.
one, they make you wait half in the regular, and then you can jump over in the other one. And then they do
So
it for the quarter as well. Just insane.
that's a bit much. So, we did, which what I said, the first day was, so we did a couple days of the beach, right?
Beauty.
Cocoa Beach. I got a little spot there that I've gone. I used to do training with well, there's one of the banners of the guy right there.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
Yeah.
do training at his place. And so I found some condos that I love.
Mhm.
Great restaurants right next to. It's like 45 minutes from the Orlando airport. I mean, it's
Yeah.
take a one-way
Perfect.
flight. You're on the beach.
Man,
You can leave. You can leave by noon and on the beach by 6. I mean, what
that's
else can you
amazing.
say? Like,
That's amazing. Jeez. What a country.
yeah,
Yeah.
what country?
Amazing.
So, so we stayed there for a couple days. That's what I had to do. And then the first day was to celebrate my stepdaughter's 18-year-old birthday. So
Nice.
she flew in from Brazil for the trip, and then Harry Potter fan, so it was Universal
Oh
Studios.
man, yeah. In heaven.
And we had to do the double park, right?
All
Has
right.
to go to both. I didn't understand why there was any discussion of the fast pass.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and then once we got there and we were skipping the line, they go
Yeah.
like, "Thank you." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
no way were you going to get two parks in one day and wait an
Yeah.
hour to 2 hours every ride. It was
Absolutely.
never mathematically going to happen.
Yeah.
So that
Absolutely.
day was amazing. And there was a lady that stopped us like, "Oh, well, where's all the, like, ma'am, there's a really long line. Well, how'd you guys get, we did the fast, like, well, what did that cost you?" I was like, well, yeah, ma'am. I mean, you spent, it was 700
Spend
bucks
money.
for us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Look
well,
at
we got 10 people. Well, you couldn't do that. Like,
yeah.
I,
I
I
understand.
know. Can you leave me alone? Like,
Can we fast
I
pass
got to get to the next
conversation?
ride. I get it. You couldn't do it. Leave me alone. Like,
Exactly. Like, I'm sorry, but like, talk to management. I don't know. Like, it's not me.
right? Like, stop complaining to
Yeah,
me. What am I going to do about it? So
exactly.
you need to get over to Disney. And that was a wake up call because did the fast pass. I even go, listen, I'm not going to wait around to try and scan a phone.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bought the bracelets. There's these
Perfect.
customized bracelets. Like you spend upon spending upon spending.
Yeah.
Like I
Yes.
said, trap, right? When you know you're in the
Yeah.
trap, like it's not a trap, it's a face off, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Standoff. And I did not do well at that standoff because
Yeah.
you go in and you reserve. The way Disney does it is you don't just get to walk up and do your thing. That express
Mhm.
pass is a reserve. You have to reserve a time. Well, the first one I reserved, I didn't, I mean, it was like 10:30.
Yeah, yeah.
So the first places we walked up and they were like, no, you can't get in. There's like, that was a rough morning.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
rough morning.
Oh, man.
I had some people that, listen, Brazilian, that's all I got to say, right?
Yeah, yeah. Trying to explain that to them.
South American, just explain, like, trying to explain them when I got kicked off of a ride was one thing. Trying to explain them they can't get on a ride's another thing.
That's true.
So it was
Ooh,
very
could be
interesting.
that. Yeah. Oh man, that's
Yeah,
wild.
tempers go here real fast. It's like,
Yeah,
simmer
yeah.
down now,
Zero,
simmer
zero
down,
to 60. Yeah,
simmer
yeah.
down.
Give me that now. Donna Summers. Man, that is crazy. So that you have to reserve too.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was reserve. And then once you use
Wow.
three, you can, or once you use one of your three, you can book another one. And I go,
Man.
there's a word here that I'm going to use. Understand that for some people, you'll get offended. I'll explain why I'm offended
Mm.
because of inclusion,
Mm.
right? Love inclusion. I'm all about inclusion. Let everybody be a part, 100%. But I'm going to go back to Universals versus Disney.
Yeah.
When I, who have money to spend, want to spend my money, I do not want to have to go do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we got to make it fair for everybody. And there's the inclusion, right?
Yeah.
Never in my life have I been granted something that I know just purely off of, well, we just needed you to be a part.
Yeah. Just existing. Yeah.
Hasn't happened for me.
Yeah.
Other people, it does happen and they get to be a part of something just because. Fill in the blank of
True.
why. Doesn't matter. That's inclusion. When it comes to business, when it comes to somebody spending money, the more somebody wants to spend, the more they go, less I want to deal with. I just want to walk up to the line and go.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. And that's where I think that like capitalism at its core, the motivation to accumulate more, to get more, to it's one of those things like because capitalism isn't a thing that's mandatory, it's a choice. Like I have friends that love their 9 to 5 jobs, and we get along great. We have discussions about life, business, finance, all kinds of stuff. They just wouldn't want my lifestyle and I don't want their lifestyle. They're okay with it. I'm going with another couple. We're going to La Ronde. They bought a season pass, but they didn't have the money to buy the fast pass. They're going to be waiting in line. And I said, well, we're buying our tickets. I don't go often enough to have a season thing. So I'm just buying for the day, but I'm buying my fast pass. And they said, oh, but we're not going to be on the same rides together. I said, okay. That was
You're
your
right.
choice. Like, yeah, you're right. We
You are
won't
correct.
yeah, like maybe once, but I'll have already gone 3 times on the same night.
Mhm.
But I said, no, I said, my family, time is more important to me.
Time's more important.
And my feet too. I'm 40 now. I don't want to be standing up, waiting in line to go on
Waiting in
something.
line's brutal.
Oh, yeah. And it's one day. My goal is get on as many rides as possible. So I just went to the Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes concert that was here in Montreal,
Oh,
uh,
sorry, man.
which was thanks. It was actually amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie, Missy Elliott
I'd go for Buster Rhymes. Yeah.
crushed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Busta Rhymes, it was their last tour together, right? And so it was cool. Like at the end too, they all like hugged each other and they were like, "Good to see you" and stuff. It was pretty cool seeing that like friendship within the industry. So there was 4 artists for the price of one, basically. So it was Missy Elliott's show technically. but there was Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, Sierra, and Timbaland. And it was phenomenal. But we got front row seats. We were initially supposed to go as a whole group with a bunch of people, and they were looking at like the 300 level, things like that and stuff, because it was trying to factor in everyone's budget and go together and yada yada. They all dropped out and they said, we can't go. It's just not in the cards. And so I was talking to my wife. I was like, well, there's no reason why we can't still go. And why don't we bring the kids now? So I was like, let's go. And so she said, okay, cool, buy the tickets. So anyway, I sent her a screenshot and she's like, babe, that's not the 300 level. I said, yeah, absolutely not. I said, if it's just us going, I'm not sitting all the way up there. You know what I mean? Like, this is the last time we're ever going to see them perform. It's not happening, So I got boom right there. We were literally 5 feet from them. It was amazing. So got some really good footage and stuff. It was nice. But the cool part is my daughter at some point turned to me and she looked up, and it was one of those moments where like everybody had their camera phones out and they had the lights on and everything. And they were just all the lights in the whole stadium. Anyway, we're at the Bell Center. She turned to me and she says, wow, Daddy, that's so pretty. I said, yeah, it's amazing. There's a lot of people here. She said, I feel lucky that we got to sit this close. And I was like, damn, she's 9 years old, and she appreciated it. I was like,
That's
oh, that's
nice.
cool,
Yeah.
man. But I was happy in that moment because without having to like sit your daughter down and teach her a lesson about how life works and this and that, she just put the pieces together that like, oh, this is what I can have if I want, if I work hard and I do this and that, because she sees how hard I work, how many hours I'm away from the family working, this and that. It was kind of a good moment for me, but it's one of those things where it's like, that's the trade-off. Like, yeah, I put in more hours than my, friends that they work a 9 to 5 or something like that, but I also don't have to ask anyone if I want to take vacation. I don't have to this, that. There's a lot of perks that come with this whole self-employment journey, and that's where, like, if ever someone's unsure about, like, oh, it's tough times right now, what should I do? And they're considering going back and forth, take a look at those kinds of things that you value in life, I think. And that's, this isn't a tip, it's just some wisdom from an old man. But it's, you take a look at those things in life and you say, that's what it's about, those kinds of moments.
So you mentioned something.
Yeah.
Might as well just go ahead and roll into it.
The old man part. I breakdance like the Olympians now. Sorry, we won't go there.
That was interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. That was special.
Before we go into that, I almost got into what I want to talk about because you really had a great segue. Thanks for bringing up the Olympics, because it reminded me that it was opening weekend this past weekend. For those of you on the Pints of Polishing podcast that listen to this who want to give me shit about soccer, well, I didn't talk about it on our episode, but it was opening weekend this past weekend. The thing that I thought was unbelievable at Disney and at Universal was what we started to do was count and compare the amount of soccer jerseys.
Ah, okay.
There's some basketball jerseys still out there.
Yeah.
I was blown away the amount. And so we just started paying. I was like, I don't know that guy. Who's that guy? Like, and that's what we started doing. And so for all of you, right, I didn't say it on ours, and you guys know who I'm talking about, right? It is interesting. I can talk about it here because this is a global podcast, right?
Yeah, exactly. See, exactly.
Soccer's the world game, but that could all be coming to bed very quickly. There could be a grave on soccer for me. I don't know if it will fully grave. I actually enjoyed last night. I had no idea what I wanted to watch. I was glad soccer was back on. So I watched a replay of the Man City Chelsea game that was on Saturday. I enjoy the flow. I enjoy where you don't have to right be looking at it, right? I can do other things. I can lay in bed, do some work, have the game on. And for me, that becomes in the back of the background.
Yeah, it's just playing in the ambiance. Yeah.
Playing the ambiance. And I like it that it's more of the world game than people want to give me shit for not, listen, I played football and baseball in college. So stop with it.
That was
I do have my man card. Trust me.
Yeah.
I just enjoy now watching, but it could be coming to bed very quickly because, the stepson has actually decided he's not sure that he wants to play competitive, right? I mean, the whole reason I was joining into soccer was so that I could help him, so that when we go outside, actually, joined a local club so that we could have a field. And this summer I had scheduled Tuesdays and Thursdays when I get off work to go work with him on dribble. I would do the dribbles with him. I would do the dribble,
Wow.
right? This
Yeah.
was for me, but for him, right? It was also that he could be better.
Yeah. Dang.
He today doesn't want to play competitive soccer,
Wow. Any
right?
reason? Yeah. It's gotta be something. No?
Yeah, work.
Yeah. Sorry, for me, it's just like, yeah, when you want to do competitive stuff, it takes work. So for me, I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, doesn't want to
No,
put
but right, we joke about it all the time. How people just don't want to put in the work,
that's true.
glaring me right in the face. And he's a 10-year-old kid. What am I going to do? Yeah, no problem. That's
Yeah.
what I said. Just
Yeah.
need to say what you want to do. This flip flop back and forth ain't going to jive.
Yeah.
You want in or
Your
out? You want
decision.
out? All good.
Because if you really
You're out.
want in, the work is
Yeah.
going to be irrelevant. You're like, this is what I
Well,
want.
you wanted in. I was there with you to help you along the way.
Yeah.
Took my time. Right.
Yeah.
So now
Dang.
you're out. Cool. You're out. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no more. And this is really the hard. You hear that and you go, listen to that conversation, listen to it.
Mm.
So many of you are going just what Sean said earlier, slow. I don't know how many people I hear that from. I ask local guys, I ask competitors, I talk to all kinds of people just to go, hey man, how's everything?
Yeah.
Oh man, right?
Yeah. Right away,
And I
you know,
just
yeah, one after the other.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So one guy last week wanted my time. And he's a guy that has tried to do some stuff, right? Gave it the old, we could say, college try, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wanted to know why his customers weren't wanting to buy some hyperclean products because they were slow.
Hmm.
I mean, do you listen to the episodes?
Yeah. Because there's a
Oh yeah, yeah, I listen.
million. Yeah.
Do, do you hear what is being said? Crickets, silence, right?
Yeah.
And well, no, man, you are choosing to do it your way. We even had what, a month or two ago, like that. It's more than a month. It's like 3 months ago that, that zebras are in that river. Hey,
Oh
watch out.
yeah.
There's crocodiles, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
how do you not hear what is being said? And so now you get into times like this,
Yeah.
and the people that are slow, it's a slippery slope. It's a very slippery. Here's what you need to be cautious about if you're somebody that is experiencing some downward turns of your business. You make a mistake, that mistake can multiply into 10 mistakes before you even knew it.
True.
And
Yeah.
that one simple mistake 2 years ago, let's just put a financial value on it, might have cost you $200. To
Mhm.
today, with the way it goes, that mistake's going to cost you $1,000.
Yep.
Oh, how does that happen?
One mistake.
Slippery slope,
Yep.
right? One mistake, and then now you don't have people around you that are as excited to help you.
Yep.
Because why? You're the guy going, hey, I'm slow.
Mm.
Have you listened to the episodes? How many hours have you, have I, have Nick, my partner, have Brian Mildren, a guy that does some episodes with us, the other people that would come on the pub, over the years, how many hours of regular guidance? You can use the word help. You could use the word wisdom. You can use the word, hey, watch out. There's a, crocodile in the river, right? Call it, fill in the blank. Hours.
Yeah. That's true.
Same as my stepson.
Yeah.
I spend hours with you. Okay, I'm going to learn FIFA. Now I play video games of soccer. I watch soccer with him on the weekends. Hours.
Deep in it. Yeah, yeah. That's
What else do you?
what makes.
And there's the other lesson, right? It's a slippery slope.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you fall, the lesson is
Mm.
also, hey man, you got to go deep. If
Yeah.
you're somebody that's gone, oh yeah, I've heard a couple things. I listen. You haven't taken notes. You haven't then gone and spent homework time after school.
Yeah. It's true.
Then you're not going deep. Deep. That is
Yeah.
where you've said other people, this isn't for you. Go get a job. Like
Yeah.
you gotta go deep. There's your tip, huh? Hey,
Yeah.
that's
Gotta go deep,
what we're
pause.
talking about.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know what I love about that? Marshall, I get asked a lot why, because a lot of people ask me for help. They ask me for, time, calls, coaching, all kinds of stuff. And I honestly just don't have the time most of the time.
Yeah.
I do what I can to, help out when I can, but it's usually people want me to fill in 12 blanks. And I'm like, no, 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 I'll give you some guidance along the way, but you still gotta, you still gotta dribble the ball, kick the ball, you gotta wake up at 5 a.m. You're the one that has to do that shit. I can't do that for you. But I was asked recently. So remember, I told you a couple episodes back, I've been helping this buddy of mine. He started this construction. Well, I started it for him, but he's now running
Yeah.
it.
He wanted a job and you made a job for him.
Yeah, exactly. So he's running it full time now. So we just finished 3 more roofs, and we did drone footage, everything. So I learned how to fly that drone now, which is pretty cool. But I've been helping him more than he was expecting. So I've been jumping in on, like, even today, he was messaging a customer and the guy asked, he said, oh, well, could I get a discount on this? I have other people that want to use your services. And so before he replied, I just jumped in on the message and I was like, no problem. Here's how it works. You pay full price today. When you refer somebody, we send you a referral fee. And that's how you get your discount in the end, because we don't get paid on promises. You know what I mean? We get paid on something actually being booked. And he saw that and he messaged me and he said, geez, he says, thanks. I didn't know how to reply to that, so I wasn't sure, so I didn't do anything right away. And he said, thanks for jumping in. And he asked me though, he says, why do you do this kind of stuff for me? He's like, I could do this and fail and so on and so forth. And I said, listen, I'm sharpening my sword. He was like, what do you mean? I said, look, reality is most of my businesses are running pretty smoothly because we've set up processes and things like that. But when something runs smoothly or you think it is, you're not really paying attention to every little piece. It's not like if you're driving your car and you hear a little noise that's strange, but if you're not in the car all the time, you don't hear that noise, right? So I'm not at the shop every day. So my guys will tell me the majority of what's going on based on questions I ask them, based on questionnaires we fill out, different things, meetings we have. But because I'm not there doing every part of the job anymore, I'm not aware of certain things that could go wrong with customer communications. So for me, I'm sharpening my sword through helping this guy out. I'm putting in hours for free helping him out because it's building into a business that's paying me back, which is awesome. But it's more about the long term, looking at things and saying, okay, I see things that come up in that business that I'm like, maybe my customers at the auto shop are asking that. Maybe they feel a similar way or sentiment or something. I look for little problems in the process that maybe we could refine and keep them moving forward. It's all those things why we listen to audiobooks, why we watch YouTube videos, why we study things, we try different products, why we test out different plotters or different equipment. We're always looking for ways to improve things and make things better, but it does require thousands of hours, not even hundreds of hours, thousands of hours. And that's what goes into starting a business, but also running a business and growing a business. And that's where a lot of people, I think, get to that point where, oh, I'm booked out for 3 months. I can just coast now. I did what, Marshall and Sean said. I climbed. And now you went back to grinding, though. You gotta keep climbing, you
Yeah. It's
know?
forever, right? It's forever chess
It
game.
is forever. It is forever.
And you mentioned something, right? Like time, right? Like here's the second part of people always want to know, okay, well, in down economy, what happens?
Mm,
We don't know until it happens. Okay.
true. People make
But
forecasts.
here's
Forecasts.
yeah. Here's what will definitely happen. You mentioned it. Your time has become absolutely more valuable as
Oh yeah.
other people become slower and waste more time and complain about stuff and continue to fall down this slippery slope. those of us that have been waiting for times like this and actually thrive in moments like this, we go harder
Yeah.
because we
100.
see the opportunity of, hey, if this guy's sliding and his business failing, then that means his customer needs help.
Yeah.
And as we know that more and more people are about to go out of business, the customers still need their cars cleaned.
Yeah. They don't disappear. Like they don't, like they're still there. It's like that whole when one door closes, another one opens. It's that whole thing, you know. It's that's what we look for. Like we pay attention to it. Like me, I get amped up when winter comes. A lot of other people get kind of scared. They're like, "Oh, geez, you know, winter's coming." I
So
get
they might,
excited. All the
yeah.
mobile guys are closing down.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
So
Like it's
people,
even more customers.
so people that are reaching
Sorry.
out to you, people that are reaching out to
Yeah.
me that are going, hey, I need time. We don't have time. Hey, you also got to realize this too. You didn't support in the good times.
Mm.
You got to look yourself in the mirror and go, why should you deserve support when you
Time and
haven't
that.
supported the other person?
That's
And I don't
true.
mean having a subscription to OrbisX. And I don't mean buying a couple coatings here and there. That's not what I mean. We can all understand what support is versus not support because you're going to look at your customers and go, well, people don't support me. My friends don't support my business. I'm a small
Mm.
business guy and my friends don't support me. And
Yeah.
those posts that go out on social, it's like, I mean,
Yeah.
so let's boil it all down. Then I'll let you, right? You get to these
Mm.
moments. We don't know what's happened. We do know that if you start sliding, you have some problems, you got to tidy your stuff up, right? You can't have loose,
Good.
you can't have loose wires. You can't have loose things. You need to tidy your wires up. You need to get everything clean, keep everything more now than ever before, because you understand that in these moments, if you slip, that slip
Yeah.
could be a longer slip. That's just
Yep.
there, right? And then if you haven't supported somebody, do not expect them to give you any guidance or help in these moments. Their time is becoming more valuable because people who aren't sliding, who aren't in the hole, they're actually eating more now. They're actually, this
Yeah.
is the time for them. So,
Absolutely.
hey man, you might not get any help. And there's the post that I joked and had a fun time about on a recent episode for us. This guy whining on social media about how he had thought he had been a part of some group that, you know, their dad had started a car wash company and then they started a detail company and they used all these influencers and had a couple products and they got really big and they were joining all these people. Come, we're going to beat. They sold. They're out of business.
And
And you see now these guys making posts going, oh man, I was promised so much from these brands and the people, and they had lured me in. And now where am I don't have any, right? We were being told that this brand was supposed to like pay people $50 to go out and do video trainings. And like, there was all this stuff.
all these
50
problems.
bucks is shit, first of
Yeah.
all. And then they
Mhm.
didn't get it. And then then we'd hear these people that this brand would have them go out and lead stuff and do things, and they were expected to get paid.
Jeez.
Like the
That's
amount of
crazy.
Kool-Aid drinking for that brand over the past years is borderline Disney crazy. It's borderline the same thing, because then you see this now, the same as I saw in the line of people at Disney thought they were special, right? We're walking down the very entry to Disney, and this old lady goes, she's 60 something years old. As you see people in carriages go by, right? Because you can get in these carriages and they'll take you. And I want to be special like them.
Yeah.
Why am I not special?
Well.
Grandma, the just came out of your mouth? Like, what did you just say? And that was through all of Disney. And this is through all of that group and all these people that were patches. And I'm going to wear this. And these, like, no, those guys couldn't run their business. They had to sell out. The brand, the people that were their You know, these main people that were supposed to be marketing all the stuff for them, right? You're seeing them go away.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing the people that thought they were supposed to get something. They didn't put in the work. They were just going to go off the coattails.
Yeah. Just have it
Well,
handed on a
now
silver
you're the
platter.
grandma at Disney going, I want it to be special. How come I'm not special?
Yeah. And so, well, and then, yeah, when you don't support, that's where,
All
you
right,
know,
slippery slope.
yeah, it's funny, because there's guys that, they were with OrbisX, then they bounced, tried some other stuff because the times are tight, so they tried jump ship, they went tried some other CRMs, then they came back, and then they like, okay, I'm happy with OrbisX. The other ones didn't have it and stuff, and then they're like, things are a little slow for me though since I left to that other CRM. Any chance you could help me? And I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
right.
to be honest, what have you done for me though?
I
Like,
mean, I could help you, but you left
yeah,
me. What about the
yeah,
guy? Remember, I told you about the guy that needed that help. He was going out to this big show and he's going out to, was it like a private thing? And the
yeah,
company didn't help him. And he asked me to overnight him and get him some stuff.
yeah, and then
And then
boom,
he didn't
goes
return the
up.
favor and continue using it. He actually joined other people and started selling stuff for like, huh?
Yeah, and it's
The
like,
guy
damn,
that stuck his neck
my
out to
neck out.
help you. And
Mm,
now, okay, it's done, right? Same as I'm not going to go out and work with my stepson. I'm not going to go out and do it. Like, that's cut off.
yeah, because why are you going to invest all the hours? It's like if your dream was to play competitive soccer, then maybe that would make sense. You know what I mean? But to put in the work for someone else's success, that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it's the way things are transitioning, or maybe it's just always been that way. But for a lot of wannabe business owners, and I say wannabe on purpose because I think that there's a lot of people that are caught up in the hype of I don't like a boss, I want to be self-employed, I want to run my own show, but they really undervalue how important your time is and how much of an investment you have to make all the time. And so, what I've always told these guys when they ask for help is, I'm like, listen, for me to do one-on-ones with people, I can only run through so many people in a day, and I have other shit to do. So the best thing I can do is things like what you and I are doing here, where send us your questions, ask for this and that. And literally sometimes I'm told like, well, I don't really want my like business out there. And I'm like, "Yeah, we're not using people's names. We're not this and that. Like, you know what I mean? But I could get your question answered because I dedicate this hour every week to do this with Marshall. That's where I can, put all this stuff out there for you for free. You don't even have to pay for it. But asking me to take an hour out of my day in my regular schedule, like even if you were to offer me money, like I can't even put a price on that because
Yeah.
what I get done in that hour, like if you're slow, you can't afford it, to be honest. You know what I mean? But like I definitely am here to help people, as are you, yourself and Nick and everybody else, right? But it does come with that give and take, that give back, right? But
Mhm.
so listen, I don't want to miss my tip, so I will jump into it. So it's a tip of sorts. So there's a new thing coming in OrbisX, which is pretty cool. And it's something we've been piloting at our own shop right now, because the question of commissions and stuff like that has come up at my own shop, but also I've seen it in groups and I commented on some stuff and people told me I was nuts for paying 50% commission and so on and so forth. But reality is that's what works for us. But we had an interesting situation recently where we had a staff member that hasn't ever really been comfortable selling. So their sales have always been lackluster in terms of upsells and things like that. But they do have the highest number of reviews that they've accumulated, and they have the highest number of repeat customers coming back asking for them in particular. So we took a look at that and we said, okay, so it is fair that this person should be compensated in some way, shape, or form for creating an exceptional customer experience, being a leader within their team to inspire others and so on and so forth, but they're just not as good at sales or as comfortable with selling. So we were thinking about it and we're like, okay, so how do we reward this kind of behavior without detracting from the people that are crushing it in sales and they're good at sales and that's all they want to do? Because we need both sides of it. You can't just always be selling because you still have to provide the customer experience side of things, right? Sure, you can always be selling, but without providing that actual customer experience, the customer is just like, Jesus, every time I walk in here, I just empty out my pockets, but
Yeah.
I'm not really getting anything that I feel,
Mhm.
So you don't want customers feeling like they're walking into a landmine, but at the same time, you want them to empty out their pockets if they can. So it's a fine line, right? So we were thinking, okay, how do we accommodate this? And then how do we implement this with technology. And that's one of the cool things I think about OrbisX is that there's a lot of companies that build software to help your business run, but they're digital only. And what I mean by that is their process isn't something that can run without, like, let's say the internet goes out. What happens to your business if you're 100% reliant on technology for all your processes? Then you haven't really built a solid business, in my opinion. So at OrbisX, our processes, or our thought process is always paper first, digital second. If you can't do it by paper, it's not a good process to do digitally.
Thus, you own a printing company.
Unless you go to a printing company, exactly, which I do, printing shark. but still, good call.
No, I said
But,
that's why.
but
That's why you own a
oh,
printing
that's
company.
why. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true, and that's exactly why. See, because we got to print it first, paper first. That's absolutely, and so because it is important still, and so we refine all our processes on paper. So we did this first by paper for about 3 weeks, and then we got the process nailed down, and then now we've created it digitally in OrbisX. It's not available to every member yet because I own the software. We get the stuff first. It's just how it goes. But anyways, once we're done our testing, it will be released to everybody. But we're introducing something called Karma Rewards because it's a way that you can reward good behavior and following standard procedures, as well as going above and beyond standard procedures, which is most important. And that's what we're really after, is making sure that they do certain things. And I'm not talking about, okay, make sure they wipe down the mirrors, make sure they do this, that. I'm not talking checklists. I'm talking about the other parts of the customer experience that go above and beyond, that are going to create that whole karma side of things, where you do something good comes back, that kind of thing. So it's a way of providing a commission to your staff members that are excelling or going above and beyond in certain areas of creating that magic, that customer experience, that be our guest mentality from Disney. Speaking of Disney, creating that for your customers in a monetary way that isn't a direct correlation, like, oh, I upsold, a ceramic coating, I get X, Y, Z. It's a little more disjointed than that. It's hard to kind of put a one-to-one relationship, but creating those customer experiences, when it's done the right way, you can track it and you can see. So there are some pre-filled examples, and you create these things called karma stones. So other staff member, management, we can give stones to certain employees, and we can say, they did X, they did this, they did that. And based on their stones, they translate into real dollars. And so you can calculate that out. So it's a pretty cool system that's coming soon. And it was our solution to solve a big problem, I think, where there's some people that just aren't cut out for it. Just like there's some people not cut out for business, some people aren't cut out for sales, but they will take care of your customer to the ends of the earth. And so you have to find a way to reward them as well. And a lot of people get hung up, I think, on the commission side, like, oh, well, how much should I pay this person? How much for that person? Because they're trying to think of it as just a transaction. Whereas if you look at things as an experience, you're going to understand a lot more why we pay the 50% to our guys, because we want them to earn that 50%, 100%. We want them to sell. We want them to sell lots. We want them to be excited about it. But it makes it worthwhile for them to take the necessary time. So they're not just focused on, oh, I got to just make, 100 of these sales because I'm only getting 5% for each one. So they're just focused on volume. So we make sure it's worthwhile for them so they can spend the time necessary. They might only have to sell one ceramic coating and they're good. They're going to go for more, obviously, because they'll have time, but they take the time required with the customer to walk them through why it's such a great choice for them, to the point that the customer will literally tell them sometimes, I'm really glad you told me about this, because I would have felt horrible if I left here and I wasn't protecting my car like this, if it wasn't easier to maintain, so on and so forth. The guy's literally telling us he's happy he just spent another $1,000. And he's telling us he's happy, like, thank you for this. It's crazy. But it comes with that customer experience. So for the guys that aren't so great at selling, we now have a list, and we do have when it launches for everybody, you'll have a pre-fillable list where you can literally duplicate our exact process. So it fills in the stones for you of what we look for. So things like, making sure you greet them with a smile. That's an obvious one, use their name. But things like asking about their hobbies, if they have pets, asking if they have a family, you got any kids, this, that. What do you guys usually like to do in the summertime? What do you do on the weekends? Any big plans for, Thanksgiving, stuff like that. And then adding those as the tags or labels on their profile so that we can target them later with promotions. Adding in those kinds of things, first off, it helps with customer retention, helps with us doing more sales, and it helps create that customer experience where you can pull up that guy's profile before the appointment, being like, oh yeah, shit, he's got a dog named Roxy. Perfect. When he comes in, boom. Hey, how's Roxy doing, by the way? Oh yeah, she's good. She's still here puttering away, It's just that whole customer experience. It's hard to put a tangible number on it, but by introducing the karma stones, it's a way that you can now reward your staff member for going above and beyond. And at the same time, you'll be rewarding your business and yourself by creating that magic and that customer experience. So
Cool.
yeah, pretty excited for what's coming. It's been working wonders at our shop. Morale is up, and it eliminates, in my opinion, that whole fear of, well, if I get this guy trained up really good, he's just gonna leave me and go start his own, business or do this and that. You'd be surprised how loyal staff members will be when they're treated well.
When
You
they feel
oh,
appreciated.
100%. Yeah, you'll be surprised. You could teach him the secret sauce,
Yep.
and he's not leaving.
Doesn't matter.
It's
If he
exact
feels appreciated,
100%.
valued.
Yeah, it's so true, and that's where a lot of people miss that boat. Yeah, it's true.
And I love about it is, I'd say most shop owners or most people that are in the detailing industry are male.
Yeah, true.
Right? It's a dominant male industry. One thing that males aren't so great at is expressing their feelings.
Very true. Yeah, that's facts.
It's not exactly easy for us to go up and go, "Hey man, I really appreciate everything you're doing." You know, and da 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 da. Well, that's a little bit more of a the other chromosome. Let's just say that. Right?
Yeah. Something we're lacking. Let's put it that way.
So this is a good way of handling that without having to be the other chromosome.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's true. And that's the kind of thing that you want in your CRM for your business, is something that doesn't just handle customer data entry. You want something that handles all those other aspects of things. And that's where I feel that OrbisX really excels, is with the marketing side of things, but also with the nurturing, not just of clients and customers, but also with your own staff, because
Yeah.
that's going to eliminate a lot of headaches and create a prosperous business long term. And that's where you'll continue to climb. Absolutely.
Hey, I like that.
That's it, man. I'm nailing the outros, man. That was awesome. Well, listen, man. Awesome. Marshall, appreciate your time. Guys, be sure to check out Pints and Polishing Podcast. Make a little more fun of Marty for his jokes about football, because he picked on me for about 2 or 3 weeks about the Canadian team. There you go. See, I'm expressing my feelings already. I feel better. Anyways, I appreciate you. Great stuff. And guys, remember, listen and actually take in the information. Act on
Do
it.
the homework.
Do the homework. 100%.
It's
The
called
information
homework for a reason. It takes work.
takes work.
And you do it when you're not working, you're at home.
Exactly.
Oh, my wife. Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
those aren't fun to work around either. I get it.
Yeah.
Trust me. Trust me.
Exactly. But it's necessary. That's
Necessary.
Absolutely. All right, man. Great chat. We'll see you next week, man. See you guys.